What's up, YouTube? This is Game on Cloud 9 with another video on crossover battles. And in this one, I want to discuss Zoro versus Kenpachi. Who do you guys think would win in a fight to the death against each other? Give you guys descriptions down below. And, I'm just going to talk about a little bit of why I think Zoro would win depending on the circumstances. I think that Zoro has become a lot. I'm not talking about pre-time skip Zoro. I don't think pre-time skip Zoro stands a chance, but looking at Zoro now that we see, he's become a lot stronger. I mean, he's defeating pacifistas, relative ease. He's cutting ships in half. His cutting power is, amazing. And I think Zoro, not saying that Kenpachi and him wouldn't have a good fight, because I think they would. I think Zoro, would be capable of cutting Kenpachi down. With his three sword style, I think it would create a lot of trouble for him. Even though he handled Noritora's dozens of swords, I still think that, Zoro is, a pretty good swordsman, and, he can take an insane amount of pain. And, Kenpachi, he can too, but I don't know about as much as Zoro could. I mean, to be honest, if you guys ever seen, I don't know if some of this is just, if there's just Bleach fans viewing this, or there's, whoever's, a Bleach fan, if you're thinking like, oh my gosh, Kenpachi can take it too, you haven't seen Zoro. If you don't watch One Piece, you've not seen how much Zoro can take. But, I'm assuming, in this video that, most of you guys know both of them. You guys have seen both of them fight. But if you haven't, just look at Zoro versus Kuma and you'll know what I'm talking about. And, that was part one. I'm pretty sure Zoro has gotten stronger. As we've seen, he's, pretty much, been just massacring anybody he fights. I mean, he's fighting people that Luffy, you would think Luffy would have to, fight or whatnot, but he's beating most people with relative ease, and that's just Zoro. But he did train with Mihawk, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this to Zoro, unless Kenpachi has his Bankai Shikai, then it goes to Kenpachi. But otherwise, I think that Zoro would obviously win. But that's just me. So anyway, give your guys' thoughts, like I said in the beginning of the video, down below. And actually, if you think Zoro would win, actually describe why you think Zoro would win. If you think Kenpachi would win, describe why you think Kenpachi would win. Don't just say, oh, I think Kenpachi would win just because he's Kenpachi, or I think Zoro would win just because he's Zoro. Actually say, give some feats of what you think, why they would win, why you think that why Zoro can cut down Kenpachi, or Kenpachi can cut down Zoro. And I don't want to hear, because anything where, like when you guys are discussing, don't tell one person, oh, well, Kenpachi would never, I'm like, Zoro would never be able to see Kenpachi. Because, I mean, realistically, we're talking about a crossover battles. Because I've seen stuff like that before. We're talking about crossover battles. Who you think would win if they faced off. Not if somebody, never had a reason to face off with them. They actually go ahead and they're going head to head. They both can see each other clearly. There's no technicalities, none of that. Anyway, just say what you guys think. See you guys later.